welcome to episode, I'm looking at myself, don't do that, 6 of Yugi-Talk. Not a podcast.
Not
Just,
not in the traditional sense, but we, as you guys have seen, we just talk about pretty much anything. Could be either a market watch, which today's focus is going to be more of a market watch, and I guess coming into the new year, we're going to talk about a couple new products that are set to come out in the next couple weeks or months.
are you going to talk about the Banlist at all? Is there anything really notable in there? Why don't we just start, why don't we just start with that? We'll start with the Banlist, because that's the biggest recent news that came out was last week. Konami put out a Banlist that is effective, I believe, January 1, 2024. Or maybe effective now.
I'm not sure exactly when it went into effect. I was on one of the apps or the online simulators last week or whenever the ban list dropped, and they hadn't updated it yet on Dueling Nexus or I always blank on the other one, YGO Omega, and Cashiera Unicorn. I was still not able to add 3 to my deck. It was still at 2. So I'm actually not exactly sure when it goes into effect. But at this point, it might be already in effect at your local card shops.
Okay, so what's the biggest change in that ban list? Is it Unicorn?
I mean, that's good. And I think even prior to that, people were already still doing surprisingly well with Kashtira without a Rise Heart. So that could add to, some consistency for that deck. I think it's a good sleeper deck that, you just look at those cards, like Unicorn, Fenrir alone are just so powerful that you throw in a couple like board breaker type of cards, it's still a very playable deck even without a Rise Heart. The last thing I'll add to that is even in Master Duel, where Kashtira is technically at full power, besides Fenrir being limited to 2, it's probably not the best deck in the room in Master Duel with all of the cards available to it. So that's interesting, just a side note. But Unicorn's a big one to 3. The most interesting one for me personally, and I think maybe even for you as more of a nostalgia, older fan of the game and the show, is Snatch Steal, which was a card that was previously banned, has now been bumped up to 1.
Okay.
And that card, we can pull up that card did. I think all versions of that have started to slowly go up. It's interesting because it seems like Konami is starting to unlimit a lot of these cards that were previously banned, such as Change of Heart. I think on the same ban list, Mind Control, which is arguably the worst one out of all of them, went to 3 copies. But I always preferred Change of Heart over Mind Control, and looking at it on paper, I think I would probably prefer to run Snatch Steal over Change of Heart for the simple fact that Change of Heart targets, while I think Snatch Steal does not target. Do you have the card text pulled up there?
I have Snatch Steal up. So, take control of one of your opponent's face-up monsters. Your opponent gains 1,000 life points at each of his/her standby phases.
Yeah. So,
why would you do that then?
Because Change of Heart targets, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So certain cards that can't be targeted, or you can dodge a targeting sort of effect by getting the monster off the field.
Okay.
And you have to give it back during the end phase for Change of Heart.
Oh, okay.
Snatch Steal, you take it permanently.
Take it permanently, but
it's an equip spell. So if your opponent can destroy the equip spell, that you'll get that monster back essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an interesting dynamic. It's a little bit different than all the other ones, which I think is the most fun part about it. Is we have all these different options now of steal sort of cards, like Change of Heart and Snatch Steal being the 2 best, I think.
Yeah. So I just stopped the sharing, but it doubled in price for the unlimited near mint. Went from $10 to $25. So yeah. Not that anyone was investing in that prior.
I believe there's some of those in the 25th anniversary ones as well.
What do you mean in the spell ruler?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the one you were talking about.
I guess no. This wouldn't be This wouldn't be spell ruler price. This is first
ed.
Well, first ed and then unlimited pre 25th anniversary.
Right. Okay.
I think it's probably cheaper.
Yeah, but bottom line, all versions of it have pretty much gone up. I think there's a couple common versions, like structure deck things over the years, but completely new card off the ban list that was forbidden for the longest time, and I think that was a good move. That's my probably the most exciting thing on that ban list for me. Just seeing an old card like that get freed
So nothing
up.
though, other than that we're kind of doing a market video here that doubles that price. So so that's good. Do you want to move on to do you want to do structure decks? Do you want to do
Yeah, we can go straight into the structure deck. So the main topic I wanted to touch on with this is just I wouldn't say overall quality of the structure decks that we've gotten recently, but there's been a few cards in these structure decks that have just
Fire Kings or Crimson King?
We could talk about Fire King first. I think really not surprisingly, there's a common version of Droll and Lockbird, which is a very...
Is that a different artwork?
The Droll and Lockbird?
Yeah.
No, so that's the classic artwork. I think there is an alternate art for Droll, though. I think that was maybe in one of the Maximum Golds or something like that, where that got an alt art. But there's... I was telling Dean a few days ago, there's a rare version of Droll and Lockbird in Tactical Masters, which I opened way more than I should have of that set, trying to build a Labyrinth deck. In hindsight, obviously, should have just bought the singles. But at that time, I think Welcome Labyrinth, the trap was like a $50 card. And back then, that was early on where we were very into opening and trying to pull, have big pulls and whatever. And I just... for some reason in my brain, I thought ripping open the packs would be better than just trying to build the deck. But nonetheless, point is, I have about like 50 Droll and Lockbird rares, which allegedly were short printed in that set.
Is it actually 50? Or are you exaggerating?
I'm like half exaggerating. I probably have more than 20. Organize them. I have like 2 entire binder sheets back to back of Droll and Lockbirds. And they were at one point they were like $4 or $5, and getting to the point, I really thought that this structure deck, when I heard Droll and Lockbird was coming out in that structure deck, I was like, oh man, I should have tried to at least get rid of some of those rare Droll and Lockbirds. But now this is a common version, so technically a lower rarity, and it's still what, like $2-3?
Well, yeah, it was like $1.50. Now it's about $3.30. So what is your set from?
Tactical Masters. So last time I checked, that was about $4 or $5 for a rare, which a rare is guaranteed in every pack. Now, like I said, allegedly Droll was short printed. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, but
it's saying market price $3.85.
Okay, so it has come down a little bit because now people have an easy or a guaranteed access version to it. But
went from about $5 down to about $3.30 up to about $3.80, $4.
Yeah. So that's a card that's always gonna, I'm not gonna say always, but for the foreseeable future will hold some value because that is just such a good counter to almost every deck. But yeah, so the overall point is just these fairly valuable cards that are coming out in most of the recent structure decks, and we'll move over to the Crimson King structure deck, which has an absolutely, I think, insane value. In the most expensive card, single wise, is the Vision Resonator.
Yep.
Very good card. It's pretty generic.
You read it?
Yeah.
If a level 5 or higher dark monster is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Vision Resonator once per turn this way. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add one spell or trap that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend from your deck to your hand. Yeah,
so the last effect is great if you're playing the Red Dragon Archfiend deck.
So the price shot up on this.
Yeah, because a lot of people have started just the main thing to focus on, or the reason why it's gone up so much in value is the first effect is completely separate from the second. So that's fairly generic, where most, if not all, decks will have a level 5 or higher dark monster on the field, especially before. Now we're getting into this age of a lot of fire monsters is the new thing Konami is pushing. But prior to that, pretty much that could work in just about any deck. I mean, you think about Bestials, something as new age as that, or even Dark Magician, whatever. It's just
I'm trying to see like how could this work in like a Dark Magician deck. Like I guess you'd have to be playing some sort of Red Dragon Archfiend engine within it, right?
Some people are doing that. You could play I think the second most expensive card in this structure deck is the Crimson Gaia, which again, that could just be used as a little like engine in pretty much any deck. But the main thing is like you're able to special summon a free special summon of a level 2 tuner, which is always pretty solid.
Yeah, so Crimson Gaia, during your main phase, you can add one Red Dragon Archfiend or one card that mentions it from your deck or graveyard to your hand, except Crimson Gaia. When your Red Dragon Archfiend declares an attack, you can change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position.
So again, if
a monster on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Red Dragon Archfiend from your graveyard.
Yeah. So again, if you're playing in the pure Red Dragon Archfiend style deck, also a great card, but there's a couple of generic effects in there. Like you would basically run 2 or 3 Vision Resonators and maybe 1 or 2 of those cards. And that card, if you were to draw that, say, that can just search out your Vision Resonator from your deck. And then it can also recycle the Vision Resonator, because Vision Resonator is a card that mentions Red Dragon Archfiend.
Okay.
So they basically work in tandem where, one can search the other, and then that spell card can revive one of your level 2 tuners from the graveyard.
Okay.
So it's a very like compact, tight engine that you can run in most dark, decks. So, and again, that's a large majority of the good decks out there.
This deck it's like a danger deck too, right? I'm just looking at the cards. There's Danger Nessie and Danger Chupacabras in here.
Yeah, they threw those in there. I've like most people that I've seen who are playing the pure like Crimson Dragon, Red Dragon Archfiend deck
are
not playing really dangers. You could, I guess, but it's fairly consistent enough without those. They've done that actually. That's interesting. They've done that with a few of the recent structure decks. They've just thrown danger cards.
I guess you can just have it in any deck.
Pretty much. Any dark sort of whatever deck. They're just.
You played danger in a lot of decks when you first started.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it because they were just free special summons. Or
who's the danger? What's the bird?
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
Yeah, Thunderbird and Bigfoot are like two of probably the best. But yeah, I would play it in like zombies or any deck that you don't mind discarding stuff. Free special summons, free draws, whatever.
Okay, so now moving on then to, I mean, that's deck building wise. That kind of covers the recent news, right?
Yeah, I guess just to like to wrap that up, like the interesting thing to me was that Vision Resonator card is over $5, and the structure deck itself is $10. So just an interesting little point there.
And they're not going to like that price isn't going to change.
Like the structure deck.
The structure deck.
No.
Yeah.
It could, but yeah,
I don't think it would.
Not anytime.
Like soon. If we wanted to go to Target right now, we could go buy one.
Absolutely. Yeah, we saw them there earlier, I think. Actually.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I was now that I'm looking, anything I could build my Master Dark Magician deck, but I don't think that would really fit in anything that I'm doing.
It's tough because once again,
it was a level 3 tuner.
Right. That's what you really need is a free special summon from the hand, level 3 tuner.
Yeah.
That would just,
which again, if they want to build a competitive Dark Magician deck, I'm looking at Konami, that's what they should do.
Throw us an Assault Synchron that's level 3 or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be great. All right, so you want to move on to Archlord?
Yeah, Archlord Christia. So got a reprint. I think the first reprint it's really had in a very long time, and it kind of is in theme with, it seems like a lot of these collector rare sets or deck building type of sets where you're getting a guaranteed rare, or excuse me, all the cards are rare and you're getting a guaranteed super. This set, I want to say, I don't know if it was the first time they did quarter centuries in that type of a collector's rare set.
What was the other collector rare set this year?
I'm trying to think of what the previous one.
Hungry Burger didn't have. What was Hungry Burger?
Yeah, that didn't have quarter centuries. I don't think they were doing that yet. That was Hungry Burger was the one with all the dinos in it. I'm blanking on the name.
Can't tell if they're fighting or not. So, okay, so the price crashed.
The price has gone down on the quarter century rare specifically, and that's a card that if that goes down near, I think I saw some listings under 70. If that card goes near like 50 for the quarter century rare, that's something I would consider picking up. And anyway, so
it's selling right now. It's 65. Was the most recent sale.
Okay.
And that was today. 3 sales today, 63, 65, 65.
So, all right, we got a little bit off topic there, but the point I was trying to make was what I've noticed in a lot of these like sort of side sets, whether it be Battles of Legend or like some of these, even like the deck building sets, the rares that they're printing, I never understood why certain cards were in there that just felt so outdated or they didn't fit with any of the modern archetypes or things like that. And once I've started looking into Edison format, which is something I've only just gotten into recently, started to realize like, oh, all of these cards that they're reprinting are just Edison format reprints, and it makes a lot more sense now when you look at it that way. So Christia is definitely a big Edison card. Fairly popular. I don't know enough about Edison format to say, but I know Fairies is one of the top decks usually, and Christia is a big part of that. So kind of surprised to see the price go down so much, because people, that's I think technically the highest rarity of Archlord Christia now.
It started at 150, but that was probably like was release day.
But when the dust settled, it was around like 100, right?
Exactly, it was 102.
So,
look at you.
I looked at it earlier.
Right around 100, then it's just been dipping ever since. It's flatlined, so it's been sitting at $72 from December 18th to now. So like whatever, like 10 days.
Fairly took a pretty big cut, and I'm kind of surprised. I don't know if it's just like, because with some of the Edison cards, I think that Edison has a very diehard fan base. And I think a lot of them probably would prefer or maybe respect the older versions of the card. The higher rarity old versions of these cards are just kind of more of a flex in Edison format, where it's like if you have the ultimate rare from back in the day or whatever, people kind of, I think, are into that a little bit more. Just kind of fits with the format. But I think it still would be pretty cool to have a quarter century or essentially a Starlight looking shiny Christia for your Edison deck. So
yeah, I mean, I also the price.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think if you can get, I think our guy who we get Yu-Gi-Oh cards from said is like, if you can get these cards for around $60 to $100, he thinks that they're going to go.
Quarter centuries in general. Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
and also like, it's not easy to get. I mean, we're going to only a few places, but it's not easy to get our hands on like some of these sets right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, to get a full box of Rarity Collection was a struggle. I mean, we found one at our local card shop.
Plenty of stores near us that like you would think it'd be easy to get the stuff from, but it's not. And even like Target and Walmart and stuff, like there was no Age of Overlord or Rarity Collection today at Target.
Yeah.
And there hasn't been at all.
Yeah.
Maybe some Age of Overlord boosts. We had to go to Barnes and Noble to get the packs that we're going to open.
And they had two packs of Rarity Collection. We obviously bought all of them. So, spoiler alert, we will be opening packs at the end of this video. We probably should have said that at the beginning.
We didn't even acknowledge this setup.
Yeah. We just bought a brand new content mansion. Thanks to you guys. No, I'm kidding. Not yet. But we are filming in our buddy, our friend and I guess business associate or partner, however you want to say it, from the Life Lanes podcast. We're in Dom's basement right now.
Dr. Dom is what he goes by.
Yeah, Dr. Dom on Twitter. And he's got a really great little kind of nerdy setup with all these puzzles behind us. So hope you guys appreciate that.
So you'll probably see this. I mean, we've recorded a couple Life Lanes episodes. I'm hoping that Brett allows us to record a Skippers View episode in here. And then going forward, I mean, Dr. Dom doesn't live here, but we might just
move in,
move over here, and just do all our episodes from here if we're gonna do Yugi-Talk, because it is nice to be doing it in person, rather than online all the time. Especially because I can just pull up everything right here. So, yeah, I mean, I think that we're getting a little off topic with the Starlight stuff or the Core Century, but I do think that it, given maybe another year, which is a lot, as long as they don't continue doing that, and as long as, like, if they come out with another rarity collection, which I'm assuming they will because they did in the OCG, it's like, what? I guess it just depends what. As long as they're doing cards that don't have Starlights, and it's once a year,
but by then
I'm okay with that.
By then, the OCG could have one, if not multiple, new rarities that we haven't got yet. And by the time we get Rarity Collection 2 or whatever it is,
maybe we could be getting Quarter Century.
Right. Like, it'll be a totally new foiling or whatever they end up doing. And we're finally getting this new rarity that's been out in the OCG for a couple months or a year, whatever. So
I guess again, the Starlight and the Core Centuries are the same thing essentially. And Starlight is supposed to be the highest rarity.
Right.
Like, Konami has said that too, correct?
Yeah.
So to try to pretend that Core Century isn't a Starlight, I guess what I'm saying is, like, I'm looking at this card right now. I'm like, do I buy this card? The Archwell Christia?
Yeah, I mean,
if it drops below $60,
if it does, that's what I'm saying. Like,
definitely, I would.
Yeah,
so
like low $60, $50.
Financial advice.
No, but that's a good one to pick up because that has it's very playable in past formats, notably Edison format, which is arguably the most popular alternate format to the advanced constructed current format, whatever you want to call it.
And that's similar to what I did with the Rise Heart.
Yeah. So, well, that's something that we could talk about and then transition into Rise Heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dean picked up got a good price on the Rise Heart XYZ monster.
Yeah, I picked
Starlight
up too.
Yes. Well, yeah, we posted on Twitter. One of those is being given away. But I think that's just a great card that, whoever's the lucky winner of that is a great investment, because I could see that card coming back maybe to 1 or something, coming off the ban list. And if that ends up happening, that card should skyrocket in price, or at least go back to its former.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna just pull it up right now for people. It was like a $200 card.
It's about
because I was more than that. I was opening Photon Hypnova for Mirror Jade, but also for Rise Heart, which right now, I have this up. It is continued to go down since I bought it. Actually, the most recent one sold for $64, and a lightly played one sold for $55 2 days ago. So all these were bought on Christmas. So it's sitting around $65 right now, which I guess is kind of like around what I bought it. Well, actually, I traded in for it, but my thinking was,
and now that's a Starlight too. That's not a quarter century. Like, that's quarter century price.
It's a beautiful looking Starlight. So the one that we gave away, if you go look at that photo, beautiful looking Starlight. 2, I think it could double in price.
Yeah,
because if you go, and I'm going to go to the 1 year mark right here. It actually went up to like $300. Like it dipped after releasing, went from 264 to 300, and then went down to 160, 70 range for a few weeks, and then down to 65.
Yeah, it's
been like consistent. Like, I don't know when it got banned.
It was a while ago. It was like multiple ban lists ago.
May is when it dipped from 270 to 170.
That probably sounds about right. Yeah. But yeah, cards like that, I mean, it's a risk. I have a whole page in one of my binders of cards that are banned that I'm just like, if they come off the ban list. I have a copy, the first edition secret rare Thunder Dragon Colossus, that I don't know if that card will ever come off the ban list, but if it does, that will probably be a pretty expensive. It's still expensive for even a banned card, because I think a lot of people are thinking the same thought process as me. But I literally have an entire sheet of one of my binders of cards that could come off the ban list and potentially be a nice little, jackpot. But what else do we have?
Well, now it's Kashira Rise Heart.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So we talked about a Rise Heart. Now we'll talk about level 4, Kashtira Rise Heart, which that card has just been shooting up in price.
I was gonna buy it.
I had the chance in my Catskill video that some of you guys might have seen. I had the chance. I ended up buying the Visa Samsara, which was a good pickup. I think it's still around the price I got it for. It did shoot up much higher at one point, but I had the chance to. Dr. Dom just walked in the room.
We shouted you out in this episode, Dom.
We did, yeah. Cut that out. So yeah, at that same shop in that prior video, I had the chance to pick up these copies of these for $5 a pop, and I absolutely should have done it. At that time, I guess I didn't have any interest in playing like pure Kashtira, whatever. But
we're also not moving cards.
What do you mean?
Like, we're not selling cards at face value. Like, if we're trading,
no,
cards,
but I just want them. I just want them to play with.
Yeah,
and now I do not want to buy 3 copies for $60.
I do want them as well. And they were like, so the price that it is right now is the price that it was when the set came out in January, which is crazy. Like, look at this U.
Well, you're talking pre-release price.
I'm talking, pre-release price.
Yeah, so this is the highest. Technically, I wouldn't even count that. This is the highest price this card's ever been at.
Yeah,
and that's kind of a trend with that set in particular, Photon Hypernova, and a couple others. But
and we have a couple Photon Hypernova packs.
We do have, so the opening at the end, I will be opening 2 blisters of Photon Hypernova, hoping to get one of those.
So am I opening 2 Age of Overlord, and then we'll still in the rarity collection?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, Age of Overlord's got some good. I didn't want.
Unless you wanted to do that. Okay.
No, I didn't want Photon Hypernova. Okay, I was just trying to think.
I'm cool with whatever. But
no, I don't need anything from Photon. Again, I have Mirror Jade, Starlight, and I have Kashira Rise Heart, and we're not getting.
Could you imagine we pull Starlight from a blister pack?
It'll be on camera. So
better be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's a couple cards in that set because, as most of you probably know, that missed the reprint window for the Megatins and stuff like that. So, pretty like standard stuff.
So I won't be able to get until next year.
Yeah. And then those cards will be absolutely worthless. Like
all the cards.
As
all the other Kashtira cards.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Going back to that unicorn coming off the list to 3 now, fully unlimited. It was like 50 cents from the rarity collection as a prismatic secret rare. And now it went up to like $1. So it doubled in price, but it's still like $1 card even after coming off the ban list.
Yeah.
But that's what the tins do to card prices. So.
Yep. All right, so we'll do Magicians of Bonds of Unity.
Then we'll close do out. our weekly or bi-weekly check-in on the worst.
There's supposed to be another one coming out, right? Or is this?
I think they're doing 3 or 4 in total.
So we only have 2 right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is, I think, been the biggest failure of a artificial collector's item, if you call it, or there's a better word, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't think, like we've said multiple times, I just don't think people are interested in this card. And I heard, somebody else commenting that like maybe if they made this card like playable, like if it was also like sort of thing.
Weirdly. Okay, so here's the problem. You can't. What was the card from the level 2 tuner from the set we were just talking about? Vision Resonator.
Yeah.
So this is a level 8 card.
Yeah.
So technically, if you can get this out in the field and put Vision Resonator, you can then synchro into a level 10. This is a 2500 defense and attack, which I believe Chronicle Magician
can special summon.
No, there's something that can special summon it. Yeah, no, Chronicle Magician can special. Is it Chronicle Magician that can special summon it? I forget what it is. I think it's Chronicle Magician. No, Chronicle Magician summons if level 2500 goes out. There's a card though. I'm trying to think of what it is that could, I think, bring out a card that's 2500. I can't remember.
Interesting. We'll have to,
right now. We'll have to look into that. That would be the only. But like, look how much explaining. But look how much explaining I have to do just to figure it out.
That's like, so situational though.
Totally situational. Maybe if there's a card that I can bring out a level 2500 defense 2500, attacker defense 2500 monster in my Dark Magician deck, I can then bring out Magician's Bonds of Unity. But then I would need a level 2 tuner to be able to tune into anything because all the other cards in that deck are level 3 tuners to then synchro from Dark Magician into like Chaos Angel.
Right.
So this is like it's it's totally useless.
Yeah.
The Age of Overlord price is $46, and then the
Duelist
Nexus, which was the first one,
right,
is $84. But it's the same card. It has the same effects, right?
Yeah, I think they have different color scheme, like in the background, like one's yellow, one's green, right, or something. Yeah, so again, it's just like a manufactured collector's item in a sense, and I guess the first one is holding on to a little bit more value because it's the first one.
Probably because it's the first one. But so I guess we say this every time. If they made this somewhat, it's an effect monster too, which doesn't really flow with the Dark Magician deck.
Or even if they just made it a level 7, you can normal summon it with Kashtira Birth. Like, I mean, we're still reaching here, but
it doesn't fit in any deck.
Yeah.
So the prices on this have consistently gone down. So probably the last time we checked, it was over 100. Now this is under 90 for the Duelist Nexus, and for the Age of Overlord, it's pretty much been around $50 since a little after it came out.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how cheap the Age of Overlord one is, and we're gonna keep bringing this up like a very short snippet probably in all these talks, because I just enjoy watching the dumpster fire.
It's actually like a decent looking. It's actually a decent looking card.
It is.
And if Matt were to have it, I have credit with him for cards I traded in. Like I'd be like, oh yeah, give me that for.
Well, especially for $40, like $50.
So, even though it'll probably keep going down, it's a pretty card. Second to last thing, I guess, is the stainless steel God cards.
Yeah,
you want to talk about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they're kind of cool collector's items. They've done it with the Platinum Blue Eyes and the Platinum Dark Magician. I think these look a little.
It's alt art.
It's alt art. I think they're supposed to be
the God of
like
Obelisk,
manga,
Saint Dragon, the God of Osiris, and then the Sun God of Dragon. So it's not even the actual.
So what I've heard is like the artwork is supposed to be more manga accurate, as well as the names are the original like mistranslations that when they came over, that was like a mistaken translation or something like that. So it's interesting. I think they're cool. They're actually cheaper. I think it's actually cheaper than, for 3 God cards, it's actually cheaper than the 1 Platinum Dark Magician, if I'm not mistaken. But the thing I didn't like about that and the Blue Eyes that they did is they made the card itself was like
going up?
White.
Are you coming back down? Okay.
The card itself on the Dark Magician and the Blue Eyes were like white, where the God cards at least look like Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah.
You know, like that kind of turned me off to the Dark Magician and the Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I get they wanted to make it look unique or whatever, but it just kind of looks strange to me, like with like that white border.
So it's $400
for which one?
For this
the God
set.
cards.
Yeah.
What about Dark Magician?
Dark Magician was more, I think.
See, that's what I was saying. The Dark Magician was more. I think the Blue Eyes was even more than all of them.
Dark Magician was $1,300.
God.
I mean, it's a beautiful looking card.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I don't even know if they have the. Yeah, the Blue Eyes is actually still here. Wait, let's see. Take a guess at what the Blue Eyes.
I want to say I think the Blue Eyes was more than all of them, right? Like,
well, think now. I think the price is down.
Where are you looking? On TCG?
Konami.
Oh, Konami's website? It's down?
You actually can't even buy it anymore on Konami.
Yeah, what was their MSRP?
15,000.
Oh, 1,000. Okay.
Yeah. Do you think it's on TCG Player?
Potentially, or if not, eBay, I guess, would be the only option. Yeah, what was
so actually the Platinum Blue Eyes on TCG is 1,000? No. One sold yesterday. Guess how much?
1,500.
No.
700.
No.
Like up, down, I don't know.
Up.
2K.
Up.
25.
Yeah, 23. So like
yourself.
I mean, Dark Magicians.
They're not cheap to begin with. So it's
1,300 is just insane.
Yeah. So it's not like you're hitting a home run.
You don't want to sell it either. Like that's the thing. It's like, you're really gonna buy this to flip it in like 2 years.
Well, yeah. If you're somebody who's willing to pay 1,300
to flip
for that, I don't think you're interested in making a quick buck.
No.
Off of selling it.
right. So what's the last thing that you wanted me to pull up?
Oh,
that you're like, did I hear of?
Yeah. So I thought this was somehow related, or the Toon Egyptian gods is basically what I'm getting to. And I thought there was like a reference to like potentially cards being released in the OCG and then eventually, obviously, the TCG. But apparently that's not the case, at least as of right now. If you type in Jump Fest 2024 Toon, Mega Toon or something like that, it should come up. Or if you could find the Reddit post, it would be even better, because somebody posted on Reddit, I think it's just r/Yu-Gi-Oh, a close up photo of all the. So this is a set of figures that are being released in Japan. It looks like, for Jump Fest 2024 by a company I believe called Mega Toon, something like that. But they're little figurines that have a Toon version of Obelisk, Ra, and Slifer, as well as Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, and something else. Do you have it or no?
No. Joe just edited it in a photo.
I'll put it up on the thing. Yeah.
There.
Yeah, but really interesting. I'll you know what, maybe just to get Dean's reaction, I'll just
I see a customized one on Reddit. Oh, I did find it.
Yeah, so if you go through the photos there, it's like these little, like, it looks like unpainted figurines of the gods in their Toon version.
Oh, that is very
which
cool, actually.
Is really interesting. And I'm not like, probably should have done maybe a little bit more research on this.
So we can't buy
before
this, though.
There are certain websites where you can get like OCG products and stuff, so there's potential to be able to get them in the US.
Shipping out.
But the thing I'm most curious about is, like, somehow they must have gotten, I guess, the rights or like the license to do this through Konami. And I have never, again, it's an OCG or Japanese company, so like, why would I have heard of it, I guess, but never heard of this. And they're also, like, I guess the reason that it's most interesting to me is because the Toon gods, I don't think have ever been a thing in the actual, you know, Konami universe. Like, they haven't released anything like that themselves. So the fact that this like third party company is making these figures of a character, or like a version of characters that has never been done by Konami themselves, as far as I know, was just kind of shocking to me. And that's why I was thinking, when I first heard this, I didn't do much research, and I was just assuming that these were like new cards that were coming out. So that's why I was more excited to tell you about it. Turns out it's not as as cool as Toon Egyptian god cards, but
which would also be cool.
But it could be, I don't know, it could be a foreshadowing for something in the future.
I won't play a Toon deck, but I'll collect it.
Absolutely, yeah, that would be so cool.
Okay, so I guess now we're gonna transition to the card. Now, do you know how to do? Have you ever done transitions in the videos?
Yeah,
like swipe us. Can you swipe us right now?
Oh, you mean like this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to like high five swipe?
Yeah. So like as we swipe, should we touch hands again? Okay. Quick opening. We just wanted to open cards, so we got 3 blisters each. I got these.
Yep, I got 2 Photon Hypernova and 1 rarity. Yeah, just didn't want to open these without catching it on camera, so let's just be a little outro to our Yugi-Talk.
They made this much easier to open.
The blister. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I still got old school blisters here.
I guess I'm going first.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, Age of Overlord. I know this is a good set. And we haven't really opened much of it.
We have not.
So, 2, 3, 4. Wait. Okay. Dude is calling again. What's this girl not get? Oh, I gotta clip my nails. Next card. Nope, not next card. Ultra rare.
Okay.
Definitely not worth anything.
Yeah, the TG stuff is not great.
Okay, odds are I am not going to get anything here.
a super?
Yeah. I'm glad to get an ultra, but alright. This is my first blister of Rare Collection, so let's see how this goes.
This might be mine also.
Effect Veiler, Dogmatica, nice Dragon's Prison, nothing.
Damn. The Effect Veiler Secret Rare is nice though.
It's might cool. Be
a couple bucks. Yeah.
Damn it.
All right. Photon Hypernova. I feel like I haven't opened this in like a year. We didn't open much of this either when it first came out because there's still, I forgot there's still Triple Tactics Thrust in here too, along with all the other, you know, some of the Kashtira stuff that's gone up. What is it, 4 from the back?
It's 4. Yeah, so you take 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep.
Okay.
You're totally off camera.
Yeah. Scareclaw Kashtira. Okay, next card. I've never seen that card in my life. Super rare.
Take our money.
Alright, if we can even get an ultra rare from Photon Hypernova, I'd be pretty happy with that. Okay, Fierce Tiger. Shell of Chaos, Evil Eyes Unleashed, Numeron, Green Ninja. Alright, Rarity Collection, take me to the promised land. Okay, Danger Jackalope.
Next card would be a course.
Yep, it is not. Ghost Trick. All right, let's at least get some luxury rare. Imperm. Okay. Wow. Absolute dud.
Bye.